Welcome to On Air with Russell of Hotels, where we talk about everything hospitality, from hotels to influencers and everything in between. We will feature guest interviews with hospitality professionals who will share their experiences. Your host, Russell Edmond, has spent over 25 years in the hospitality industry, beginning his career with Marriott International in hotel operations before moving into the sales arena and becoming a relationship building director of sales and marketing. Russell then went to the other side as a hospitality entrepreneur. He now consults in the hotel and meeting space, which includes being the CEO of Russell of Hotels Group. Did I mention he was a veggie foodie? Yes. Russell is always looking for good non-meat eats. Please welcome your host, Russell Edmond.
Hello, good afternoon, and thank you for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels. I'm your host, Russell L. Edmond, but I just go by Russell of Hotels, if that's okay with you. But thank you guys so much for joining the show today. Today is show number 192. It is Tuesday, January 17th, 2023. And as you can see I guess it's on my right, maybe your left, I'm not sure. But happy birthday. Happy birthday to my mom. Yesterday was her birthday. And of course, I didn't do the show yesterday, so of course I didn't say that. But I called her yesterday to wish her happy birthday and that kind of stuff. So make sure she was doing okay. And she's doing fine. She's out there in Blythe. Okay, for people that did not know, that little town that you're driving, on the 10 freeway east, that last town before you get into Arizona, you cross over the bridge into Arizona over the river. That's Blythe, and that's where I'm from, right? So that's where she lives. So yeah. I was born and raised there, just in case you did not know. But anyway, happy birthday, Mom. I talked to her yesterday. They had lunch at China Garden. Okay, so that's the only Chinese restaurant in Blythe. Okay, and I know it is a good restaurant because they have vegetables there, right? And that's what I eat. So, but no, she said she enjoyed it, and my brother, I don't know if they went there or they had food from there. I'm not sure if it was takeout. I'm not sure. But anyway, happy birthday, Mom. Hope you are well. We'll talk later this week. So once again, I'm live from LA, show number 192. God, who would have thought that, 192 shows. So I'm creeping up on 200. And guess what I'm going to do after 200? Nothing. I'm going to do 201. So there you go. So no big fanfare. I remember after the first 100, I had like 6 people on, and I let them talk. They kind of interviewed me, right? They kind of congratulated me on 100 shows and all that kind of stuff, and it was fun. It was really cool. But I think this time's gonna be low key and just maybe for 300 we'll do something big. But for 200, I'm just gonna be concentrating on 201. So, but we'll see. We'll see. I got 8 more shows to go, so we'll see. But anyway, let's get into the show. Let's get into the industry stuff. Boom. So once again, before I get started on this, engagement is encouraged. Feel free to make your comments. I do appreciate them. I love comments. So make sure if you want to be heard, make your comments, because I'll make sure I do mention those comments, providing they ain't over the top, because some people will put some comments in there that I'm not going to repeat. Okay. But no, they don't. No, everybody's really good about that. But no, if you have comments, you have questions or anything, feel free to go ahead and ask those. I do encourage, engagement and conversation. So, that's what it's all about. So, so feel free. So I got both of my comments going. So if you guys have comments, they pop on my screen or on my phone, which I'm looking at as well simultaneously. So, but there you go. So on to the show. So this is industry stuff, right? And on this platform that I use, I just put bullet points there, and then hopefully I can remember, what I'm supposed to talk about. But Russell of Hotels rate. You guys know what that means. I'm looking for the Russell of Hotels rate. I want to offer this, nationwide, if not globally, right? So I'm looking for hotel partners who will partner with me to offer that Russell of Hotels rate. And what kind of rate is that, you may ask, right? So, we all know that hotels have that bar rate, best available rate, whatever that is, or, for old school people, it's the rack rate. What is the rack rate? Well, now it's called bar rate now. Or best available rate. So I want best available rate minus $1. That's all I want. So if your rates are $200, I'm looking for a $199 rate, and I will basically do all the promotion for whatever hotel agrees to do it. Right. So I do promotion, I do all that stuff in exchange for the commission. That's it. So meaning, if no one books that rate, then you don't owe me anything, right? And that's how people should do. That's how the promotion should go, right? That's how advertising, because hotels will pay, your companies in general will pay, money for for promotion, for advertising, things like that. And what is their return on investment? Do they even know? Sometimes they get a return, if they say, oh, well, if it spikes on these days because this is the time I ran the ad, well, then that's our ROI. Well, you know exactly what the ROI is, and you know how to track it. If you basically give me basically a rate code and load it into the system, I have a link on my end, or they can go to your website, and because we always want to make sure people book direct, right? So they go to the website and they book. They get into the reservation, they put in their dates, and then where it says little special code, they put ROH 2023. That stands for Russell of Hotels. The 2023, that's the year, right? And they're able to get that rate, whatever the bar rate minus $1. So that's all I'm asking for, right? So I'm being intentional about what I'm asking for this year, just in case you didn't know why. Where's this coming from? Because if you don't let people know what you're looking for, you're never going to get it, and you're never going to know. People are never going to know what you're looking for, right? So hey, I'm upfront and honest with it. I'm looking for that Russell of Hotels rate on a local level, national level, global level. So it doesn't matter what the chain is, the hotel is. It can be independent, it could be boutique. I don't care. I just want to add value, because I think I can add value to hotels, meaning add value in the form of room nights. Who doesn't want more room nights? But let me back up. But if you're sold out all the time, this is not for you. This conversation is not for you. So just act like you never heard it. Okay. So if you're sold out all the time, that's not, I'm not talking to you. So who's sold out all the time? Let me know. Okay. And let me know who you doing your promotion and who's your director of sales and marketing over there if you're sold out all the time. So, but anyway, looking for that Russell of Hotels rate. So you hear me say this every week. Okay. So that is not going anywhere. So anyway, next one, hotels rates are not decreasing. So in fact, I can move that one out of here. So, okay, so hotel rates are not decreasing. So people think, oh, because, after the pandemic and this and that, and I don't think hotels are doing that well, so they got to be coming down the rates. Wrong. No, hotels are not, their rates are not going to decrease, right? In fact, wages are going up, so rates cannot decrease, okay? So wages are going up. Hotels are still short-staffed. For employees, like it can be front office, that can be, sales assistants. I know some hotels that were heavy on sales assistants, they don't have any now, right? So, or they even short on sales managers. So some hotels are having a hard time finding qualified employees, I guess, is what I've been told, right? So housekeepers, they're having a hard time with that as well. So, but when they get them, those rates are going to be, they're paying them more. In fact, they have to pay them more to get them back in, right? And then why would you, decrease rates if everything else is escalating? So no, rates are not going down. Now, when people travel, especially meetings, my clients, I always ask them to give me several dates. Like maybe, can you have more than one date? Because a lot of times they say, oh, we got to have this date, January 16th. We got to have that date. Well, can we, a different date, an option date, or, an optional date or whatever? No, we got to have that date. We have to have the meeting on that date. Well, you got to be a little bit more flexible, okay? Because from week to week, rates can go down. I'm saying that rates are not decreasing, but rates can be lower from week to week, right? So, say if the rates are $200, maybe on the busy they're $220, but on the off days, or the low days or whatever, they're not as busy. Maybe they're only $200, right? But rates in general, on the average, have gone up and will increase over time. So, and make sure you book direct. I mean, I mentioned this. I'm gonna mention this throughout the show, but make sure we are booking direct. Meaning we're going to the website, or we're calling that toll-free number, whatever it is, the 800 number or whatever for that particular hotel, and we're booking directly with them, okay? Because you get the best deals if you book direct. And if there's ever any issues, which of course there won't be any issues with your stay, but if there, for whatever reason, there are some issues, you can call the hotel directly or talk to the hotel manager or whatever directly and say, hey, these are issues, and more than likely they could take care of it there on property. But if you were to make it through a third party, an OTAs, what we call them, online travel agent like an Expedia, Hotels.com, guess what? If something happens, you got to go through them because that's where you made your reservation, right? And I always look at it like this: who owns the hotel? Yeah, whatever brand, whatever sign is on the sign outside, or whatever name is on the sign, that's who owns the hotel. Expedia, Hotels.com, they don't own the hotel, so they will go. Well, you got to go through them. Oh, we got to do this, and they have to communicate to the hotel and then communicate back to you, right? So why not just go cross out the middleman and just go directly? There you go. So, but rates are not decreasing; they are only going up, and that's group, that's individual. It doesn't matter. They're all going up. Meeting destinations less traveled. What does that mean? Meeting destinations less traveled. And this is primarily for like when companies and organizations are having meetings, right? Everybody wants to go to the popular destinations. Okay. So during COVID, a lot of things got canceled, right? And then things have been rebooked or starting, or I guess last year they started rebooking, but they're rebooking for this year, next year, and future years, right? So, but people were, I see a comment, but people, what am I saying? I just lost my train of thought because somebody popped in and said, hey, the customer service burden really ends with the booking. On the premises, we're here for the customer throughout the experience. Okay, thank you, Dylan. I appreciate that. Dylan's the general manager at the Fairfield Inn by Marriott in Eugene, Oregon. He always, contributes some good comments. So I appreciate you, Dylan. But let me remember what I was going to say before I address that. But meeting destination less traveled. So people are rebooked in popular destinations like, say, LA and Las Vegas and New Orleans and Chicago. Those are popular destinations, right? Well, what about the ones less traveled? Okay, those are the ones you can get the better deals, the better rates, right? So even though, like I said, rates are going up, but they're not, every destination is not created equal, right? So if you're looking at LA, but then, you have a third option or a fourth option of like Ontario, California, right? Those rates are going to be lower than in LA. And they have meeting space out there. They have hotels out there. They have things going on, things to do, things outside of a meeting or outside of your conference or convention or your retreat. They have things going on there too. So what I'm saying is look for the other destinations, the smaller destinations, the ones that are less traveled. You're going to get the better rates there. So while everyone is scrambling to try to get space, which is now at a premium in the bigger cities, bigger destinations like LA, San Diego, Vegas, Chicago, New Orleans, Miami, New York, those are where everyone wants to go and have a meeting. So what I'm saying is look at the other options, the other destinations like Tucson, Arizona, Ontario, California, Pasadena, Walnut Creek, Concord, California, Cedar Rapids, Iowa, or Albany, New York, instead of going to New York, the New York City. So just make sure we know that there are other options other than the big destinations. Okay, so you're going to get a better bang for your buck if you take your meeting somewhere else, right? Other than the major destination where everybody wants to go. So that's why I said that. Meetings, destinations, less travel. Okay, so Tucson, Ontario, Pasadena, Walnut Creek, Concord, Cedar Rapids, and Albany, just to name a few, right? I can name more, but those are the ones that popped in my head because I've taken meetings to some of these destinations, and the meetings went out really well. You know what I mean? And you're not competing with a lot of other people. A lot of times, you may be the only group in some of these destinations because these destinations are not huge, right? So instead of being one of many, you're the top dog. You're the big fish. You know, you're the big fish in a small pond, if you will. So, and I see a couple more comments here. I see Donna Russo, D. Roos. Hey, Donna Russo. I'm gonna mention you in a minute, so don't go anywhere. Damn, I lost audio. Okay, well, make sure you come back on, and so you can hear what I have to say. And I see Amani Roberts. Happy 2023, Amani Roberts. If you guys don't follow Amani Roberts, you need to follow him. He's big on Twitch, right? So he tried to get me on Twitch. I don't know. It just didn't work for me. But he owns Twitch. I mean, he's like the master. Now, Monty is like, he's a musician. Just got his master's end of last year, I believe. He's a professor over at Cal State Fullerton in their hospitality program, I think, entertainment program. So follow Monty Roberts on YouTube, follow him on LinkedIn, follow him on Instagram, and make sure you check him out on Twitch because he has a show that he does music and he interviews people. I watch his interviews all the time, and he has some dope people that he interviews, people in the entertainment industry. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, you need to check out Amani Roberts, right? Is it the Amani Experience, I believe? And he's a DJ too. So I mean, the guy is all true. Thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So no, he taught me. Now, Monty has taught me. He was probably one of the main people that got me really heavily into social media. I mean, other people had kind of introduced me to it and kind of told me, this is what you should do. Well, Monty kind of took me by the hand and showed me how to do it, right? So I appreciate everything that he's done. He's been on the show a couple of times, and he's probably due to come back on. So, and see what the heck he's doing these days. I mean, I know what he's doing, but you guys don't know what he's doing. And he's a hospitality person. He used to be a former director of sales and marketing, a former general manager. So he has a wealth of experience within the space as well. And like I said, he's now a DJ. He went to Scratch Academy. And like I said, he went to Berkeley School of Music. That's where he got his master's. Howard University undergrad. Dude, I know more about Monty than I know about myself, right? So, dang, I mean, I forgot all that stuff. LOL, this is true. You are doing great. I'm ready to come back. Okay, very good, very good. No, I appreciate you, Monty, for coming on and being present and just being yourself, just being that professional person that you are, that you've always been, and we appreciate you. So. And then Donna Russo said, yes, I can hear. Okay, very good, Donna Russo. Okay, very good. So meeting destinations, less travel. So if you plan meetings, if you travel, look at destinations that are less travel. Meaning we don't have to look at all the popular destinations because everyone's going there. So meaning the rates are going up because they're popular destinations. Some of these other ones are not as popular, and they may have the dates that you're looking for. Okay, and you're able to get in and out. They have airlift as well, right? Maybe not as frequent as, maybe not as direct as, say, like LA and I guess depending on where you're coming from, like LA, New York, some of those major, Chicago, some of those major destinations. But I think you will be pleasantly surprised if you chose some of the second, third, fourth tier cities. And that's what's going to be happening now in meetings. A lot of people are going to have to choose those because they're not going to be able to get the rates, dates, and space that they're looking for in some of the other hotels, right? So, or other destinations. So just know that you heard it here. Okay, there you go. Let's see. The Tidy. What is the Tidy? Like, what is that? Russell just be putting anything down. Okay, so the Tidy, and I read this in an article, right? And this is basically has to do with rooms. When you stay in a hotel, the hotels are not being cleaned like they normally are, meaning they're not doing a total clean. The housekeeping staff is not coming in, changing your linen, remaking your bed. They're basically coming in, changing your towels, emptying your trash. They may be passing the vacuum or vacuuming, but that's it. They may be wiping down some counters, but that's it. So it's not a real cleaning like they used to do pre-pandemic, right? So now it's more of a tidy. And 2/3 of guests that are staying in hotels now, they don't want the housekeeper to come in anymore. They want to leave their crap out and not have to be bothered with someone coming in and moving things. You know what I mean? So yeah, 2/3 of travelers today would rather just give me some fresh towels if I need them, empty my trash. That's it. You call it a day. All right. So, and I've experienced this myself where if they give me the option, it just depends, right? Because I'm aware of people needing hours and things like that. And that's pretty much why I say, hey, whatever, I want them to come in my room every day because I know that will affect scheduling. Okay, meaning more people need to come in. The more people that need people to come in and clean their room, the more people they have to bring in, and the more people to get paid. Right. So I think about all that because I used to be a housekeeping manager. So I think about all those things. But I understand, okay, being on this side now, I understand that you don't want people, especially COVID stuff. You want as least contact as you can with the hotel staff, and I understand that. So, and sometimes I can be like that as well, especially like if I'm not feeling well or whatever. I'm traveling, and I don't want people coming in and out of my room or whatever. So a lot of people, if you notice, and I notice this a lot, not just from me, but I noticed that when you're walking down hallways, you're staying in a hotel, there's a lot of do not disturb signs on their doors, right? Because they don't want people to come in. They don't want the housekeepers to come in. So do not disturb sign just basically means that, boom, you don't have to bother me. You have to come in. You don't have to clean the room. But there's still a thing with housekeeping. I believe that, they can't go 2 or 3 days without going into a room because they just want to make sure that you're okay in there. So that's kind of a safety measure. So I want to say it's 3 days. So you cannot go, a hotel should not go 3 consecutive days without someone entering that room. Okay. And if say the door is pinned out, meaning the emergency lock is on, they will call that room to make sure someone answers that phone to make sure you're okay. That's more of a welfare check, right? So it's, there's safety measures involved too. So, but the tidy is a thing that's here to stay, I believe. I think if you want your room to be totally clean, they will do that, but you have to request that, right? So make sure you communicate that to when you check in, right? They should ask you, do you want your room clean every other day or whatever, or opt out, right? So you have the option when you check in, and they should present that to you. They should present those options to you, whatever the options are for that particular hotel. And it depends on the hotel as to what the options are, right? If they're totally cleaning rooms or if they're just doing the tidy, like I just put there. So there you go. I see a couple of, let's see, James Chaser. Hopefully I said that right, James. Thank you for joining. Are Zoom meetings still trending in 23? Excuse me. Yeah. So there's they call them hybrid meetings. So some people are doing meetings, hybrid meeting, they're still doing virtual, and some are doing meetings in person, right? Meetings in person have started, but I think it's going to be still another year, 2 years before, people are really starting to meet all the time because, it's all based on how many people come in the office too, right? So we're still not 100% where companies they're requiring their employees to be in the office. I think as more people come back to the office, there will be more meetings outside of the off property, right? And maybe, but Zoom meetings are here to stay. Those are easy to do. I mean, I do them now. I've done Zoom trainings where a couple of years ago I would have to be in person to do that, which would incur costs for my client, right? So it's easier, to do a Zoom training. I mean, I do sales trainings with general managers all the time now. and it's just I do 2 hours here, 2 hours there, and just get on a quick Zoom call because my clients are not here in LA. They're somewhere else. They may be in California, but they're not here in LA. So, but yeah, the Zoom calls are here. Zoom meetings are here to stay. There are components, virtual components now, where you know, some people will come in person. They have the option. I see a lot of this happening where companies will, if they're having meetings, they'll give them the option. Do you want to come in to see the meeting physically, or do you want to do a virtual? So they have that option, right? So I've seen both ways, but none of that. I think all that is here to stay. It's just that as people come back in the offices, I think that's when more face-to-face meetings will start happening. But I know there's a lot of pushback, just going into meetings because I have a couple of friends that work for the Fortune 500 companies where the CEO would say, "Hey, you guys have to come back to work," and basically there's other options for these employees to go to, managers, whatever, C-level, whatever, and down, right? So they're like, well, if we got to be in the office, then this company across the way, I can do the same position, and I have the option to be, I can work 3 days from home and 2 days in the office. So, you're telling me I got to be here 5 days a week. They're only telling me I got to be in the office 2 days a week. So, and it's paying the same money, and maybe I can make a little more. So that's going to be a bone of contention moving forward, right? That some companies are going to require that you come back, and there's going to be some pushback. That's what I'm saying. And that's already started. I mean, that's not something only Russell knows. I mean, these are things that have started. Major companies have started doing that, and there has been some pushback. So look for more of that. But virtual meetings are here to stay. Zoom calls are here to stay. Meetings are on the uptick. Meetings in person are on the uptick. So look for more meetings that are going to be taking place. But like I said, I think it's based on people coming back to the office too. So good question. Appreciate that. Donna Russo says, oops, made a mistake. I can hear now. Audio's back. Okay, well, good to hear, Donna. I appreciate you. So that's the tidy. Maintain relationships. Okay, this ticked me off yesterday. Okay. Friend of mine, okay, she's in the hospitality space too. She's a sales manager, right? So I'm having this conversation with her about she works for a company now, but she wants she wants to get another job within the hotel space. And there's this opening, right? So there's this opening that comes up, and I said, "Oh, that so and so is the director of sales there. You know him, right?" "Oh, yeah. I haven't talked to him in a couple years." And I said, "Well, how long? I mean, exactly how long has it been since you talked to him, right?" "Well, it's been about 3 or 4 years." Right? I sent him an email, and this is a scenario, okay? She says she sent this gentleman who's a director of sales and marketing for a hotel here in LA. She sent him an email about 4 years ago, and he never responded to it. And I'm like, so I said, so you let 4 years lapse without communicating, without following up with this person? I said, that's crazy. I said, one thing that I do is I try to constantly, the people that I came up with or people that I worked with before, people that I meet, people that are clients now that maybe we haven't done business, but that doesn't mean I don't keep in touch with them, because you never know when they're going to need you, right? And you never know when I may need them. You just don't know, right? So I'm one of those people that will constantly keep in contact with people, especially the first of the year, right? I'm always reaching out to people like, hey, Happy New Year. Hey, haven't talked to you, talked to you a little bit last year, but, moving forward, just want to, stay in touch, that kind of thing. Just a quick email. You don't have to call and talk to them on the phone. It's just an email. And it serves two purposes, right? If they respond, yeah, that tells you that they're still there. That email is still good. Okay. If they don't respond, then that tells you something else. Are they still with the company? Do I need to, let me jump into this a little deeper and see where that person is? Maybe make some phone calls. Do I have this person's phone call? Let me find them on LinkedIn, whatever. So, but you have to constantly stay and keep relationships, okay? Because you never know when they're going to need you. And another thing, they don't know what you're doing now. What property, hotel people, we're notorious for bouncing from hotel to hotel, right? Well, so how do they know where you are, right? So because that person didn't respond to her, who knows what was happening during that time? You know what I mean? The person still works with the same company, right? Still has the same email. Maybe it got lost. The email got lost, but to go for 4 years without, trying to contact this person, and this person used to work with that person, right? So, while I had her on the phone last night, and this was late. This is I'm gonna say 9:30, 9:30, right? I mean late for work. It ain't late for me because I'm up till like 2 o'clock in the morning. But that's another story. Okay, but while we're on the phone, I said, you haven't talked to her, so I'm chastising her, right? You haven't talked to him in 4 years? I said, that's crazy. I said, why don't you just email now and see, just email now and just say, hey, you're not asking for anything. You're just, making sure he's good, that kind of thing, and see where it goes. Do you know within 5 minutes of her sending that email, he responds back to her? Okay, this is 9:30 at night. And like I said, she had not sent something to him in 4 years, okay? But he knows her, and he said, hey, great to hear from you. Where are you now? Are you still in L.A.? He didn't know where she was. He didn't know anything. So I'm like, I was so ticked off when she told me he responded, right? I was hoping he didn't respond, and that way I wouldn't, But I was trying to prove a point. I said, that's exactly the point I'm trying to make. We don't communicate enough. I said, we're in sales. I said, you're a salesperson. You want a position. You're looking for a position at this person's hotel. Okay. He didn't know where you were. He didn't know what you were doing. I said, we're missing the mark here. We're missing the point. And people wonder why, well, God, Russell, I see you on social media all the time. You're always posting this. You're always doing these lives. You do this show and you do like several shows. I said, yeah. And they go, why do you do it? Because I don't want people to forget about me. I want people to know what I'm doing, that I'm still engaged in the hospitality industry or the space. And I want them to know what I do and how I can assist them, right? And if you don't know what I'm doing, I'm going to continuously do it because you're not going to reach everybody at one time that you post something, right? You have to continuously do it. That's one thing I learned from Amani, right? So you have to constantly do these things in order for people to know where you are, what you're doing, how to get a hold of me, okay? So every time you post something, and I'm going to get into this later, right, during the show, every time you post something, make sure you have a CTA or a call to action. What do you want people to do next, okay? DM me, okay? Instant message me, email me, whatever it is. Make sure whatever you post, whatever you talk, whatever shows you do, you give them a CTA, a call to action. Okay, so make sure you do that. Monty says, yes, this is true. Stay on top. Stay top of mind. People forget about you. I remember Russell was doing this thing. He was here. Well, it's hard not to find me now, okay? But believe me, there's people that still don't know where I am. But this is what I always say about social media. This is my new thing. I mean, I've been saying this since maybe last year. Social media is not for the people that know who you are or what you do. It's for the people that don't know who you are and what you do. Okay? So you have to constantly post things because then that way it's going to get to more people. The more you post, the more people you're gonna get. And a lot of times the hashtags play into that as well, right? So sometimes you have to change up your hashtag. But it's amazing, and it doesn't matter how many people follow you, how many followers you have. Based on the hashtags, based on people sharing your information, you will reach more people, guaranteed. I do lives with other people. Like if you're doing like Instagram lives, invite other people to collaborate with you because you not only get the people to follow you. Let's say me and Amani collaborated on Instagram, just as an example. I have 1,000 people that follow me. Amani has 1,000 people to follow him. Okay, that's 2,000 people that you have the potential to reach. Okay, if I did it by myself, I only have 1,000 people potential to reach, right? So that just doubles your potential, your reach. Okay, and that's what you want. So make sure. I mean, hopefully, I'm making sense here, and it's making sense. But maintain relationships is the key here. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Yeah, I've went on some tangents on how to maintain those relationships or how to reach out to people. But whatever, however you do it, maintain the relationships because you never know what you're going to need in the future. I mean, this person was looking for a job, and just so happened the job that she wanted is at this person's job that she had not communicated with in 4 years. Okay, so hopefully they were able to connect today. I'm sure I'll talk to her later this week, and kind of say I told you so kind of thing because I did. And this one thing I always told her, I said, make sure you communicate, stay top of mind, like Monty said. I mean, because you don't want people to forget about what you do or where you are, or if you even still in the industry, okay? Because sometimes we leave and we may come back or whatever. So, but anyway, whoo, you can tell I'm hot on this one. Woo! So, but anyway. So yeah, so moving forward, oh my God. So it's two people. Oh, let's see. Did I mean to do that on purpose to put that in front of me like that? No, I don't think so. But one thing about Ecamm Live, you can change stuff around real quick. You see how I just changed that on the fly? So Dylan says, how has your sales manager mentoring been going? Sales manager mentorship? You mean you got to be a little bit more specific. What is? I'm sorry. What is? How has your sales manager mentoring been going? Is that you mean the general manager sales training? If that's what you're referring to, that's been going well, right? So I did the last part of the year in December. I was doing them bi-weekly. I was doing twice a week, and I haven't done any this year yet. But as this particular company acquires more hotels, as a management company, as they acquire more hotels, they're going to require that the general managers have some sales training, right? So I'll get more involved in that. Probably not this month, but probably sometime in this quarter. Russell helps train developing sales managers. I mean, well, that stuff is on the fly for the most part, but the general manager training is something that I do often. But the sales manager training, those are things that I give my advice all the time. I'm here to help. I'm here as a mentor. I'm here as a resource. So if anyone needs that type of training, I mean, feel free to reach out and we can discuss it further. But like I said, I don't. So one thing that's concrete is the general manager sales training. The other stuff, no, I haven't. I haven't established myself as doing that consistently, if that makes sense at all. So, but real quick, Jana Divine, this is a quick thank you. Jana Divine, Jana Divine Hospitality. She was on my show or the segment that I do called "Did You Choose Hospitality or Did Hospitality Choose You?" She was on there last week. You guys need to check it out. If you haven't seen that, the replay is on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. So feel free to check those out. Tell me what you think. But she did a great job. She has a great, unique story. She actually grew up in the hospitality industry. Her mom and dad were both in the hospitality industry. Her dad was a chef, and her mom worked in a hotel. So she had no choice but to be in hospitality, right? And now she has her own company where she consults with restaurants, okay, on service, how to, raise your per check average and things like that, how to upsell, how to merchandise things. I mean, she's great. So Jana Divine Hospitality. Okay. So I thank you, Jana, for coming on. And anyone that's interested in that, how'd you get started in the industry, right? Like Amani. So you need to come on, and it's a 15-minute thing. It lasts 15 to 20 minutes. Basically, I asked 3 questions. Did you choose hospitality? Did hospitality choose you? And the third one, what advice would you give new people coming into the industry? Boom, that's it. 15 to 20 minutes, done. Okay, so it's been fire. So I thank Jana for coming on to do that. Donna Russo with Donna on the Go. She has Donna on the Go is a web series on YouTube, right? So Donna used to work for me. Okay, Donna was a sales manager. She's since retired, right? But Donna's a sales manager. She's an entertainment sales manager when I was at Sportsman's Lodge Hotel, right? So Donna was one of the first people to get me on a studio lot, right? Like, what was it? CBS Studios. She introduced me to some people. some actors and people that she did business with, and then got me on the lot, right? And then after she got me on the lot, I was getting myself on the lot. But that was the first my first experience of being on a movie lot, and it was cool. So Donna, when she was within the hotel space, she was fired when it came to entertainment sales, right? So, but Donna now transitioned to, well, she was always an actor, so she's now more involved with that. But Donna has a disability, right? So my awareness had been heightened because of Donna, right? So moving forward from that hotel, I was always, especially now that I'm doing meetings, right? So I'm on the other side. So when I do meetings, I always request or I always ask this extra question: do any of your attendees have any disabilities? Now remember, not all disabilities are the same, right? Some have mobility issues, some, maybe hearing impaired or sight impaired. So there's a lot of different disabilities, right? So not one disability, conquers all, or they're all the same, because they're not, right? So make sure you ask those questions. And Donna invited me. She does a show on about disability, information or disability rights, and she wanted to know about hotels. So she asked me to come on and talk about, hotels' responsibility as far as taking care of our guests that have disabilities, right? So what to look for, but it's a two-way street, right? So the person with the disability or the guest needs to communicate that as well, right? So it was great yesterday. We did it. It hasn't aired yet, but it was a podcast that we did on the I want to say it was called the Disability Network, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Donna is heavily involved in that. I applaud Donna for that and taking this by the horns. And like I said, she has this show called Donna on the Go, which is a web series on YouTube. So make sure you check that out. Check out the first episode of season 1, because I think she's in like season 3 or season 4, and she's been up for Emmys and stuff like that, right? So Donna, you gotta watch it, okay? They kind of make fun at people that don't understand, someone that has a disability. They need to use how people will use they will park in the disabled parking spaces, that kind of stuff. She makes fun of that. I mean, kind of in a fun way, but she addresses some of those things in this web series, right? So it's really eye-opening. I think it's kind of cutting edge to do that too, because I think more of that needs to happen. Donna says I'm the best. No, I'm not the best. I'm one of the best, Donna. No, I appreciate that, but no, it's important that everybody that stays in a hotel, that goes to a hotel, has that great experience, right? Regardless who you are, what you look like, what disability you may have or not have. Okay, so, and I always tell Donna yesterday, I said, I have a heightened awareness now, and it's because of her, and I appreciate that, right? And I remember a situation, and she didn't know about this situation until I kind of told her when we were talking prior to me doing the podcast yesterday. When she had asked me to do it, we had a couple of conversations before, right? And there was a situation that happened that me as a general manager at this hotel, Sportsman Lodge Hotel, this hotel was built in the 60s, okay? So this was built in the 60s. They didn't take anything into consideration as far as, accessibility, okay? So when you walked into the hotel, automatically there were steps you had to go down. And the lobby was not that large where you could add a ramp, because some people will say, well, just add a ramp. Well, a ramp has to descend so many inches per feet, okay? So it has to come down gradually. You don't just do any kind of ramp. There's specifications, right? So that was out of the question. You could not put a ramp in there. But what we did do, we added a phone outside, like a house phone. A house phone, for people that don't know, or can be in hallways or in the lobby. And when you pick them up, it automatically dials to the front desk or the PBX operator, okay? So what we were told to do, in lieu of trying to change everything around, because if this is your first time at the Sportsman Lodge, you wouldn't know how to get in if you were in a let's just say you were in a wheelchair, you would not know how to get in because you would come in through the front door and you're like, well, I can't come down these stairs. Well, how do I get around? Well, there's a way to get in, but the option was for us was to add a house phone outside under the porte cochere or right near the main entrance. So that person with that disability would go up to the phone, pick it up, and automatically dial the front desk, say, hey, I need help. And then automatically a front office person would come out and take care and show that person how to come in and take their information, all that stuff, get them checked in as easy and as quickly as possible. That was how it was supposed to work, right? Well, this is the thing that happened. And part of it was, well, God, it was my fault. I was a GM, so I had to take ownership and take responsibility for it, right? Because regardless, I could easily say, well, this was done before I got there. No, 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 no. It was my responsibility because I was a GM. Okay. So what happened was a guest with a disability came, was trying to check in. They picked up their phone and it didn't work. So it was not on my checklist because I did a walkthrough every day, right? And other people did walkthroughs too. But like I said, if I'm doing a walkthrough, I'm the general manager. I need to be the one to catch it. Okay. Well, I didn't catch it. Okay. And it ended up being a big deal. I mean, it ended up being a lawsuit. Okay. Because we did not give accommodations to someone who needed it. Okay. So you can believe that it was on everybody's checklist at that time, right? And it was double and triple checked, daily. But we fell short. Okay, the hotel fell short. I fell short. We all fell short of offering or making sure everyone had that perfect, lodging experience. So after that experience, when I say I was a lot more my mind was a lot more heightened because of this. It was because, like I said, I failed to take care of every guest. So every guest that walks in, or if they're walking in or rolling in, it doesn't matter. They're coming to the hotel. They needed to be taken care of, and I fell short that time. So that's why now I take it serious. I don't mess around. When she asked me to do this on the podcast, I said, you know what? Yes, definitely will. And I don't have a problem with sharing that experience because you can only get better from your experience. Every experience is not going to be good. Okay. Sometimes you fall flat on your face. Okay. What do you do though? You get up, dust yourself off, and keep it moving. Right. So I could have easily said, oh my God. Well, no. I said I took ownership of it. It was my responsibility. I made sure everybody was trained. I was trained myself. Yeah, they ended up having to pay something because of it, but there are some other issues too. So it wasn't just that. There were other issues that were going on with that hotel too, but that's okay. Like I said, while I was there, it was my responsibility to take care of it. So we took care of it. We moved forward. So, but yeah, so my thing yesterday was kind of explaining what the role or responsibility for hotels are when it comes to dealing with guests or taking care of guests with disabilities. So Donna, thank you so much. I appreciate you. So, Russell, you always handle a situation well. Thank you so much, Donna. I appreciate that. And Peggy Lane created Donna on the Go. She's one. Okay. So Peggy Lane. Okay. It was Peggy Lane and you, Donna. Okay. Peggy may have created the show, but you star on the show, and I know you have some you have some creative credits in there too. So no, it was a great show. I definitely watched the first season and probably half of the second season. So, but people follow her, subscribe to her channel on YouTube, Donna Russo. I call her D Roos. D Roos. So there you go. So that's my story. So, but yeah, I know that was kind of a long story, but it's something that needs to be told because it needs to be heard, right? Okay, 3 things. So now I got to speed up. Okay. Be intentional. These are 3 things I always say. Be intentional, make decisions, and take action that are on what's important to you. Number 2, be you. Number 3, be represented because my or your representation matters. Like I said, I'll take number 3 first. It matters that people that look like me do shows like this or share their experiences like I just shared, right? Right, wrong, or indifferent, their experiences, right? So this show was based on my experience. So I said, you know what? I have 25 to 30 years of experience in this hotel industry, 14 different hotels. Um, so when I say, because you'll see this in a couple minutes, I call myself a hospitality personality. Well, yeah, I'm a hospitality personality, but I come with a wealth of experience, right? So all the things I talk about are based on my experiences, not based on someone else's experience, not based on what I heard. Although I read a lot within, and I may share some of those things, but a lot of it is based on my experiences as a director of sales and marketing, as a general manager, as when I started off in housekeeping, as an assistant general manager, and on and on and on and on, right? At 14 different hotels, right? So, and every hotel had different experiences because you know why I had different experiences at every hotel? Because you got different people you got to deal with, right? So the guests here in LA may not be the same as the guests that I dealt with in Sacramento, right? You just never know, right? So, or the employees are different, right? They may, but sometimes they're the same, right? But there's no, I would say there's probably no experience that happens in hotels that I have not experienced. So from oh my God. I mean, it's hard to even to say from employees running around naked on their last day, screaming I'm free, to walking in and seeing that somebody had expired in a room. You know what I mean? So those are and everything in between. From employees threatening you. You know what I mean? So to having to terminate, within the first 6 months of my housekeeping career, having to terminate like 13 to 20 people. I mean, that stuff is crazy, right? So, but that stuff that's happened. That stuff that's my experience. So, don't be afraid to share your experiences, right? So, be represented because your representation matters. Be you. I mean, I can't be anyone else, right? It's hard enough to be Russell. Why the heck I want to be somebody else? And number one, be intentional. Like I said, be intentional about what you do. Make decisions and take action on what's important to you. When I started the show, I said I'm being intentional about asking for that Russell of Hotels rate because that's what I want to do, right? I think I can add value in the name of room nights to many hotels, right? So that's why I'm asking for that Russell of Hotels rate, and I'm gonna keep talking about it until it happens. So you have to be intentional. It's like having that vision board, you know, if it's not there, then it's not going to happen for the most. Or it may still happen, but if you see it every day, you talk about it every day, you start believing it can happen. Well, there you go. So yeah, hey, there you go. Not that I'm a motivational speaker or anything like that, but you got to be intentional. Okay, so there you go. What did Dylan say? Bald podcasters matter. Agreed. Yes, Dylan, they do. You're a nut. Who's your best brand advocate? Who's your best brand advocate? Who is it? I'll give you like 2 seconds. You are. You got to be your best brand advocate. You have to be the one out there, shaking hands and kissing babies, okay, or whatever that is. You got to be excited about what you do is what I'm saying. So if you're not excited, no one else is going to be excited about what you do. So make sure you know that you are the one that you're your own cheerleader. Okay, that's what it starts with you, and then as you're excited about things, other people start being excited. That's why I got people like Dylan, right? Because I'm excited. He's like, well, I said, God, this Russell was really excited. He's off the chain here. So let me support him. So there you go. I mean, that's just how it works, right? So if I wasn't excited about what I did, if I didn't have a passion for what I do, you would be able to see it, and would nobody watch no on air with Russell of Hotels. That's quite simple. Did I mention it's a podcast too, right? So, and I forgot to mention this earlier. So as soon as this is over, this becomes a podcast. So the audio portion, of course, gets uploaded onto whatever podcast platform you listen to. You can find On Air with Russell of Hotels as well. So there you go. Quote of the day. I try to do these every week, and these are quotes I come up with for the most part. In creating content, don't worry where other people have been. Just start where you are. We get so caught up. I'm going to read that again, but we get so caught up in, I can't start this social media thing because so and so is so far ahead. He's doing this or she's doing that. Who cares, right? Start where you are, and that's from today. If that's today, you start where you are and do what you do, right? Start posting about what you do. All right. So don't worry about where everybody else is being, because we get caught up in this. Um, oh, so and so gives, people when they travel, they post things. I do the same thing, right? Like, oh my God, he's here now, or she's over there now. She's been here, she's been there. Okay, but guess what? He or she had to start somewhere, right? They didn't just all of a sudden start been traveling for to 100 countries. They started with one. Okay, you can start with one as well. And remember, everybody's experience is different. No matter where you're going, your experience is different than someone else's. Okay, I've been to Costa Rica, right, 2 or 3 times, and my experience has been great. But I know people that've been to Costa Rica. I just went one time and I didn't like it. Okay, well that's his or her experience. That's not mine. I do different things. I'm a different person. I'm looking for different things, right? So just keep that in mind when you're doing social media. Okay, everybody's not the same. You have different a different network than someone else does, right? So initially you're gonna reach the people that know you, and then from there you go to people that don't know you. Okay. So just remember to start where you are. It says in creating content, don't worry where other people have been. Just start where you are. Okay. Worry about you. Worry about yourself. Don't worry about somebody else. Dylan says sometimes those so far ahead are also glad to lend a hand, like Bruce sharing tips and tricks. Yeah. I mean, I'm here to help as well. So, no one should ever think they're so far ahead where I'm not going to help someone else. I've learned from Bruce Jordan, the MJ of hotels. I've learned from Bruce. I've learned from Amani. I've learned from Kat Von B. I've learned from Scott Eddy. Um, I learned from Sarah Dandashi. I mean, I've learned from all these people. What's his name? Bonamonte. What is it? I can't think of his first name. Dan, is it Dan Bonamonte? I, I'm saying wrong names now. But anyway, I learned from a lot of people, a lot of content creators. Okay, so there you go. So just start where you are. Don't worry about anybody else. Relevant. What are you doing to stay relevant? So I've mentioned all these things I'm doing to stay relevant. Okay, so I don't have to really go over that. These are some of the things that I do. I'm not going to play any music here because then I get in trouble when I play music. So these are some of the things that I do. I'm the brand who helps your brand. And these are some of the things that I do. It's like 5 things. Uh, Hospitality personality, content creator, sales training for general managers, hotel site selection. Those are some of the things that I do. And, top 25 social media influencers for 2021, top 30 podcasts for 2021 as well. And was there one more? I think that was it. Oh, 100 most powerful people in hospitality 2022. So those are just some of the things that I've been recognized for. Now, this is something new. Okay, so I do my office of the day, right? So I wanted to post this, right? Just so you know, these are some of the things that I do to promote brands, promote hotels. I do this is basically an Instagram reel that I did, and a reel is a video that's paired with music. As you can tell, that I'm not playing the music because different platforms, you can get in trouble for just posting music. Okay, just arbitrarily, I'm just going to post some music. You just can't do that, right? So that's one of the things I did last week. That's probably one of my favorite hotels at LAX area. So that's the Renaissance Hotel, LAX. So that's some of the things that I do, that I can do. So every week that I do one, that I go to hotels, I'm gonna start sharing that on here as well. Let's see. Increase social media engagement. How do you do that? And Dylan says that Renaissance has great open spaces. Yes. You can post up there, man. That's just a great place to. The Wi-Fi it finally started working a little better. Okay, it was kind of shoddy at first, and I think it's where I was sitting. But they have a lot of meeting space, and the thing that I like about that hotel is that the meeting space is towards the back of the hotel, so you don't get people walking through going to meetings if they're going in the lobby, right? So because the elevator is in the lobby area, so you don't get a lot of people that shouldn't be in your meeting space area just walking through. If they're in that area, that means they belong for the most part. So I love that part of it. It's like a 500 room hotel. Meeting space is about 16,000 square feet, and it's all contained on one area, so which is good. But yeah, that's a great hotel. If you're, and it's near the airport, so it's on Airport Boulevard, not too far from the terminal. So Century Boulevard is the main street, so it's right off of Century. Just in case you were keeping score and you wanted to know where the heck is that hotel, the Renaissance LAX. I've never seen it, but yeah, it's there. One of my favorite hotels there. So okay, how do you increase social media engagement, consistency, value, and be authentic? Okay, so consistency, meaning you got to do things more than once. Okay, you have to do multiple things. I do reels, I do lives, I do this show, I do postings, content creating. So, but you have to be consistent with it. You can't just do it one time and expect things to happen. You got to add value, making sure people listen. They want to hear what you have to say, right? If I didn't get any comments or engagement from this, I probably wouldn't have done it. As long as I've done it, but I'm able to get some comments and engagement, and I actually get people ask me more questions about what's going on and how I can help them, and that's great. So consistency, value, and be authentic. Be you. Don't try to be somebody else. Just be you. Be the best you that you can be. Okay, that's cliche, but just do it. And how do you do this? So, okay, so now that you're consistent, now what tools do you use? And I mentioned Reels already. Reels and Lives I've already mentioned. But I do stories as well. So it can be on Facebook, it can be Instagram, it can be Twitter, it can be TikTok. Whatever and it's based on your demographics, right? Who you're trying to reach. My demographic is not TikTok for the most part, okay? But although I will do some things on TikTok just to keep things flowing. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, just use those stories, reels, lives. You can do YouTube Shorts. You can do Twitter, whatever. Just make sure we're doing something. And any questions at all, feel free to reach out. Who's hiring? Let me get to that real quick. I just saw a couple people that were hiring. Who is that? Okay, this is confidential. Okay, a director. Somebody's looking for a director of group sales in Los Angeles, and this is on H Careers, so you can go and apply there. But it's confidential. It doesn't tell you what the hotel is. It just said they're looking for a director of group sales, and it's in LA. So that can be any hotel, right? And it didn't give any really clues for me to figure out. Oh, that's that hotel. Because most of the time I can figure it out, but today I couldn't. They stumped me. The Proper Hotel downtown LA, they're looking for a director of food and beverage. Now, I love that hotel, right? Downtown, the building was built in the 20s, so it has that character. They have a rooftop bar. That's a great place to be a director of food and beverage. You got to check it out. If you're, food and beverage director, you check it out. Hotel Fig, they're looking for room attendants. They need housekeepers, okay? The Hotel Fig is in downtown LA. That's off of Figueroa. That's what it's called. It's called Hotel Figueroa, but I just said Hotel Fig because, I'm in LA, so that's slang. Oh, Hotel Fig. Oh, yeah, it's over there on Figueroa. Okay, so, but anyway, that's who's looking. Non-meat eats. Let's see. What did I do? I didn't go to any restaurants, but I made this mushroom and vegetable. Well, mushroom is a vegetable, right? But okay, mushroom and green vegetable curry. Okay, so basically, what do you use? The base is coconut milk. Okay, so you guys know I don't eat meat or any meat products or anything like that, right? So coconut milk and a lot of curry, a lot of gram masala. It was great. Yeah, it was good. Okay, I used peppers like jalapeno, stuff like that. I think I added a little kick to it, but it was very good. Okay, I'd do this. I'd made this before, so but I try to share the restaurants that I've been to in the last week. But I haven't been to restaurants in probably about 2 weeks, which is rare, right? Let's see what else. These are the 3 P's, and we're rounding the third, and we're almost at home. 3 P's: purpose. Know why you do what you're doing. Passion. Either you have it or you don't. perseverance, be consistent, continue to evolve, don't give up, and swerve when you need to. Don't pivot, swerve. Okay. And if you don't have passion for what you do, you know what you should do if you don't have passion for something that you're doing. Don't do it. Find something else. Okay. Don't waste your time and don't waste their time. Okay. Just find something else to do. So this has been real. It's the end of the show. I appreciate you guys for joining. Show number 192. I appreciate Monty Roberts for coming on. Dylan Beaumont, Donna Russo. Appreciate you guys for coming in, making your comments. It definitely means a lot to me. James Chaser, I appreciate your question. So we do this every Tuesday, 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, of course, here in LA. It's called On Air with Russell of Hotels. I also do Did You Choose Hospitality? Did Hospitality Choose You? There's no certain time for that. I just do them and I just post them and I let you know that I did them. But I'm here to help. I'm here as a resource. As you can see, if you don't follow me on LinkedIn or YouTube, please do subscribe to my LinkedIn page or my YouTube page at Russell of Hotels. That's the name that I use on probably every platform out there. Russell at russellofhotels.com is my email. I have a website, and that's russellofhotels.com. So everything's Russell of Hotels, right? So if you got that, you got half the battle. You can figure out the rest. Okay, but anyway, you guys have a great day. Thank you again so much for joining the live hospitality talk show. Always book direct, right? Remember that. Peace.
Thank you for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels. Please tune in every Tuesday at 1 p.m. as we talk to other hospitality professionals. Your feedback is important to Russell. Feel free to email him at russell@russellofhotels.com with any questions or suggestions. Until next time, try not to be a person of success. Rather, become a person of great value.